What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. I want to just make a disclaimer. Sorry for the lighting, and because it's getting dark outside. But I wanted to make this video and share it with you guys while it is on my mind. So this topic is about how to know that a place is a safe environment, or how to know to if you feel safe in an environment, right? And this is a good one because I think a lot of people sometimes get confused with their own energy and an environment's energy. And this is why it's very, very important to take a lot of time to understand self. And once you understand self, right, and you understand your own energy levels. Now, on my channel, I always talk about, you don't want to just know your energy levels of how you are when you're high, but you want to know your energy of how you are when you are also low. And this is a great video to pay attention to consciously when you are weak, because we know inside of life you're not always going to feel the strongest. You're just not. There's only a certain amount of energy that you have, and you need to know how to be conscious about it. And one of the best things to do is learn how to be conscious when you are weak. And when you are weak, it can tell you a lot about, people and environments. Especially, this is why it's also, I'm going to make a very big emphasis on this. This is why it's very important to do your own healing work, right? Because when you clear all of that, trauma, when you've cleared a lot of the things out of all of that, debris out of your energy stores, and, now you're stepping into learning how to do spiritual maintenance, you can start being more conscious about how you feel, and you can literally learn from it how you feel when you are weak, and how you feel around people and how you feel around environments. You can really use this as a tool, because when you are weak, you have to understand spiritual laws and how it works as well. So if you are a person on this journey, right, and you are doing something that is beneficial to uplift the collective, right? So beneficial for the collective can be just, being uplifting, to others, doing certain acts of service, for the community. It can just be you healing yourself. You don't understand how much that does even for the communities. When you do the healing work for yourself and you go into, different places, you have to understand you're a walking, uplifting, sense of consciousness, for your environment. Your energy, literally, when you walk into places, you have to understand that the energy has to shift because you are there. The world has to balance out. Your environment has to balance out. So when you are a person or a beacon of, inspiration, hope, when you are feeling depleted, spiritually, and you need to do spiritual maintenance, you have to understand that the universe is here to uplift you so you can so you can move forward to do that work, to keep doing that work, right? So the universe is here to uplift you. It's not just here to uplift you, but you have to understand that people will come around you. Certain environments will be presented to you so it can uplift you. So once you understand this knowledge, and once you've understood this knowledge, right, and you go into certain spaces or places, when you are feeling depleted, and if it's not uplifting you in a certain way, you have to understand that that environment is not a safe place for you. Now, does it mean that somebody's going to come out and try to hurt you, or somebody's going to do something to you? No, it doesn't mean that. But you have to understand that there's a difference between, the physical world and the spiritual world. So, spiritually, you have to understand that the people around you can be just affecting you emotionally, right? It doesn't mean that just because you're feeling unsafe, it doesn't mean that somebody's gonna come out and just do something to you. No. It can, well, like, people can just be going around just being very nonchalant or whatever, and they won't do anything to you. But you have to understand, spiritually, there's other things that are happening underneath the underworld. So it's very important. So especially if this, one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that, usually as somebody who is empathic, right? Uh, Especially when you need to uplift yourself, you're usually gonna go to environments that usually uplift you, right? So let's use like the beach, for example, because the beach is a very good example. A lot of people go to the beach naturally just to feel good. Usually what you hear people say, I'm going to the beach to what? Catch a vibe. And just being by the beach, being by the water does something to you just naturally. I know every time that I come back from the beach, I'm just like, I'm so like mellow. Like, I'm like, it's like I'm like talking like one of those like kids from like the Cali movies, where a kid is from Cali and he's just been on the beach all day and he lives by the beach, and you're just like, you're just walking and you're just feeling like mad, just chill. Like, the beach does that for me. It just does that. Even if I go into, nature, or go out for a walk, or just be outside, it naturally will uplift me. So you have to understand that when you go into environments, especially when you're depleted, and especially if you are a person that is from divine source. So you have to understand too, I'm really talking to people who, are tapped in. And if you're tapped in, it's not that I'm excluding people, but if you are running off of divine source, So when you are running off of divine source, the divine will place you in places where you need to be that has that divine energy. And one thing that I want people to understand too, it's when you go into these environments, right? It's not like you are going there to steal off of people's energy. It's not as if you're going there to, steal off of the environment's energy. No, it's nothing like that. It's the thing is that, the people and the spirits in an environment, or an environment in general, should just you should feel comfortable. So the energy should allow you to feel a level of comfortability where you don't feel like you have to put up a wall. It's as if your walls just naturally just come down. And divine source will take care of you from there, right? It's a very interesting thing. You have to be conscious of this, right? Because I've felt it in certain places, and it's very phenomenal. And it's a very beautiful thing when you've experienced this on your own. When you know that you're not feeling your best, it's a beautiful thing. You don't have to talk to anybody. It's not like you have to talk to Joe right there, or it's not like you have to, get anybody's attention. It's just that the environment will just naturally just be like, it will just uplift you. It's a crazy experience. Once you've experienced this, it's as if that experience can never be taken away from you. And when you feel depleted and you go into spaces and it's making you feel more irritated, you feel like people are pulling at you, little things are just, throwing you off, it's time for you to go. So, one of the beautiful things that I also teach people is that, you have to also learn how to assess, right? One of the things, like, say for instance, I've had experiences, and I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I've had experiences with certain places where I've assessed it multiple of times. So I've assessed it when I've felt my best. I've assessed it when, I've felt low. I've assessed it when I felt neutral. And if I've assessed the place and I've felt on multiple of energy levels that this place is taking away from me, or it's not making me feel the best, or I don't feel the biggest thing, I don't feel comfortable, I know it's time for me to leave that place, because a space will naturally make you feel comfortable. It will make you feel comfortable. If you know what comfortability feels like, always, another thing too, before I leave, make sure you're conscious about what you are feeling in environments. Because once you become conscious of it, you will always know what to look for. That's a big tip that I'm leaving you guys with, but peace and love.